go a bit deeper, have some exercises, and most importantly, also show you the specific space of the Eurasia network, Transparency Network. So it will be good to see. And yeah, thanks so much for joining. So I'm going to give you a bit of background of the platform, so a bit of the history, where it came from, what was the rationale for developing it. Yeah, just to give a bit of context, basically, before then Alejandro gives you the proper tour of the platform. Yes, so where does the platform come from originally? So it's basically the merging and extension of two previous platforms and websites. So on the left-hand side, you see the CBIT Global Coordination Platform that has all information about the CBIT projects, and that some of you might have already used if you were involved in a CBIT project. On the right side, you see the website from the former UNEP UNDP Global Support Program for National Communications and BORs, which is also would also serve as a kind of knowledge hub on all training material and then different support in that area. So it's basically the merging of those two platforms, which resulted in the Climate Transparency Platform. And the rationale for this was really to provide a one-stop shop for transparency, where all information is collected in one place, instead of having to navigate different platforms, different websites, and to just provide better and streamlined access to everything related to climate transparency. So the new Climate Transparency Platform basically goes beyond the previous CBIT Global Coordination Platform and the GSP website. So it includes all, it goes beyond CBIT projects and JEF enabling activities, and really includes basically all other transparency projects in that space. So may it be ICAT projects or PATBA or all the other transparency support providers. So it's really one hub basically for the whole climate transparency community. And on this slide, you see the kind of the 5 functionalities that were originally included in the project proposal. So firstly, there should be information on all transparency projects, so including CBIT and JEF enabling activities, but also for the wider community and all other support providers in that space. Secondly, there was a functionality to have like a country profile that gathers all active transparency projects in a country, but also the status of reporting. So how many BORs and Cs have been submitted, and then of course going forward, how many BTRs have been submitted, and just to provide a one go-to place for the country and everything related to transparency in that country. Thirdly, and then very importantly, is to have like a library of knowledge resources related to climate transparency. Also, again, with the objective to streamline it and to have a centralized place, a go-to place. And then fourthly, also to provide a forum for exchange, for discussions. That's something that we currently don't have. And so there was a big need to find this kind of space for exchange. And you will see later that we've created a space for that. And lastly, also to have a place for countries to request support. That we will also show you later. So these were the key functionalities that were originally defined in the project, and we also did some stakeholder consultations to basically further define these functionalities, maybe define new features, and just to get a bit of feedback of what is needed and what are the key features that the platform should have. So that was done in Q2 last year. If you go on the next slide, you see a bit of the process. So we started with the development at the end of last year and have been really busy for the first 6 months of this year, working together with our developers on the platform, and then have launched it in June. And even though we have launched it, there's still lots of things going on, further refinements, further smaller developments. So it's still work in progress, but we also try to adjust to the needs of the climate transparency community and really make it useful for everyone. So we are also still open to suggestions and feedback from you. So here you see the kind of the functionalities that we ended up with in the climate transparency platform. There's also, for instance, a coordination mechanism of support providers to better work together among the support providers and avoid duplications and create synergies. So that's also something that we're still working on, but we thought it's a key feature to avoid overlap between support. And and something we really want to want to highlight on the next slide is that so the platform is really a platform for and by the climate transparency community. So everyone in the climate transparency community, from project managers, agencies, countries, people working ministries, they really have a part to play in making this a useful place for everyone, keep the information updated, engage in discussions, and basically keeping the platform alive, essentially, because we cannot do it from our side, and it's something that everyone should engage in, and we really see it as a shared responsibility among all. And we're also really much looking forward to building this together and making it a useful platform for everyone. And please always provide your feedback, suggestions. If something is wrong, information, please always reach out to us. And the last slide is just to point out that we have different user profiles in the platform that you probably have seen when you registered for it. And these different user profiles have different responsibilities or different editing rights when it comes to certain parts of the platform. So if you're a project manager for a CBIT project, then you can edit the CBIT project and keep it up to date. But there are also, of course, the big group of normal network users. If you're just working for government and don't have a country focal point role or something, everyone is welcome. Everyone is equally important. You can also engage. The normal network users can engage in the forums. Can navigate the platform, and if you want to have anything uploaded, you can always reach out to your colleagues who have a certain profile, or to your network coordinator, which is Sajana in the case. Yes, that was it from my side, and now I'll give the floor to Alejandro to show you the actual product, our baby. So so that will be the more interesting part. Thank you.
Thank you, Susana. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Alejandro Regatero, and I'm also a project officer here at the UNEP Copenhagen Climate Center, working in the CBGSP project and working in the development and update of this climate transparency platform. And today we wanted to give you a tour, a quick tour, so to say, of what is the climate transparency platform, how does it work, and what are the main areas that you're going to be using. Let me just share my screen so that you can see the demonstration session. And here is the homepage of the climate transparency platform that many of you, from what we have seen, are already aware of and familiar with, since you have already registered. Let me also say that it's good to have put some faces to the new registrations that we've had before in the group picture. So nice to meet you all, and to say that we are always open to receiving your requests, your doubts, your questions. If you have any problem with the registration or any problem accessing any of the areas of this platform, you're welcome to let us know, or let Slajana know, and she will let us know. Another thing that Susana pointed out that I think is very important to mention again is that we envision this climate transparency platform as a dynamic platform. Of course, there will always be static information that you can have this platform as a reference to come, for example, project-related information or knowledge products, etc. But we envision this platform is always going to be in constant change, is always going to be in constant update as new projects develop, as new projects advance in their implementation stage. Information in the platform will change whenever there are new reports submitted to UNFCCC. This will be in constant update. So you are also an active part of this constant updating. If you are navigating the platform, see that something is missing or that something needs to be updated, or maybe would like to see some documents that are not currently featured in the platform, this is great feedback, and you are more than welcome to let us know via email in the different institutional emails that we have, or via the different communities of practice and forums that we have. We have dedicated forums for each network, and we have dedicated forums for different communities of practice. If you're very interested in NDC tracking, for example, you have specific forums for that, and more forums will be created as time passes. So again, it's a community and it's a platform that is based on this transparency community that we're all going to be using, and we're all going to be engaging with different members of all around the world. So without further ado, let me start giving you a quick introduction of the climate transparency platform. This is the homepage, as you can see here, and the homepage has some of the key at-a-glance information that you can access with very quick and very targeted information. For example, here we have some movable banners so that you can access different parts of the platform that may be of interest to you, like the knowledge products, the current and past events, or some welcoming and interactive information about the climate transparency platform. One of the most important parts of this homepage is the interactive maps that we have developed. And these 5 interactive maps all cater different kinds of information that will be useful to you as users, either project managers or country representatives, agency representatives, or just academia, other users, private sector, etc. So like I said, these 5 maps have all have a similar structure, but providing different information that will also work with you as a quick link to access other parts of the platform. I use this myself a lot whenever I want to look at specific information in a specific country, a specific project. I navigate the platform through these maps, and I think you will also benefit from that. The first map that you can see here is the Transparency Overview map. And this map shows an overview of all transparency projects under implementation or completed or in planning worldwide. Currently, we are mostly showing CVIT projects and JEF enabling activity projects, but we have many partners that are collaborating with us in the Climate Transparency platform, as you will see during this presentation. And you will, as all of our partners start updating and uploading their project pipelines, more projects will be added to this map. Here you can see, for example, all the different implementing agencies that are collaborating in the Climate Transparency platform. And we can see what are the status and what are the project pipelines worldwide. We can also click at a specific country. For example, if we clicked on Brazil, let's say, we can see all the active transparency projects that are currently in its pipeline. For example, several JEF enabling activities by UNDP and UNEP, and one CVIT project implemented by UNEP. Clicking on the country, you can also have a link here to the country profile so that you can go directly to country-specific information. The next map that we have here is the CVIT projects map. This is similar to the transparency overview, but it's only focusing on implementation of CVIT projects worldwide. Here we can see a global overview of all the different CVIT projects and their status of implementation. Like I said before, this is in constant updating. We are constantly working on updating this information. So if you see any information that is missing or that you would like to add or update, you're more than welcome to let us know. Here we have the different status of implementation, whether if the concept has been approved or the project has concluded, or if the project is currently under implementation. And you can also filter by the different implementing agencies. For example, if you want to see the spread of UNDP projects worldwide, you can do so here and have an overview of all the CVIT projects implemented by UNDP. The next map has a similar spread of JEF enabling activities worldwide. This map of JEF enabling activities can be filtered by all the different enabling activities that are currently under implementation or in planning. For example, enabling activities that are going to develop a national communications or a BTR or a BUR. You can filter and add multiple filters to this map, and it will give you an overview of the different projects. Again, you can click in one of the countries and it will tell you what are the ongoing projects that are currently under implementation, as well as giving you a link to the country profile. I forgot to mention in the previous map for the CVIT projects that if you click on one of the countries, you can have a direct link to the specific CVIT project of the country that you have clicked. So this is also one of the quick links that I was mentioning before. Going over to the next map, it's the map of UNFCCC reporting worldwide. Here is where we are recording all the different submissions to UNFCCC for national reports. And you can have national communications, BURs, BTRs, and adaptation communications. Again, you can click and you can filter by all of these categories worldwide and get an overview of what is the degree of submissions and compare between countries. We can see here that there is a color degradation for the amount of reports that are submitted. And if we're comparing Turkey, for example, with 5 national communications submitted, we can see that the color is darker than, for example, Algeria, which would have 2 national communications submitted. Finally, the last map that we have to consider is the network map. In this map, we are showing the 10 different transparency networks that are working within the Civic GSP project and are registered here in the climate transparency platform. We can have an overview of what countries are a part of each network and which countries, for example, in Algeria or Mauritania, are a part of 2 different networks. There are some specific cases where we have countries that are in more than 1 network. In any case, you can go to each of the countries of the network and have one quick link to go to either the network page or the country profile. Apart from the 5 interactive maps that we have featured here, you can access some specific featured information. For example, here with news and events, what are the key upcoming and past news and events, as well as knowledge products and landmark publications. Here, of course, you can see news and events as well as Knowledge Center in the main menu, where you will have the full list of all events that are registered in the platform, as well as all knowledge products that are registered in the platform. But what we have here is some of the key events and knowledge products that are featured so that you can access them through the main page and are very easy to see. Over here, if we go to the main menu, we would have the first page, which is an overview of the platform. And this will give you an introduction, per se, some text of what is the platform, how did it came to be, where does it come from, and what are the objectives of the platform, similar to what Susanna has presented before. Over here, you have a menu regarding the Civic GSP project, where you can access some information about the project, as well as some overview of the activities that are being taken place, as well as the results of those activities, the project team, some FAQ, etc. Over here, like I've been mentioning, this is information that we are constantly updating, and we offer a snapshot so that you can see the results that the project is having every reporting period. Going over to the next page is the network space, and this is not a space where I will spend a lot of time because the next session, Slađana will go in a bit more detail. But essentially here you can have an overview of what are the transparency networks of the Civic GSP, and again, have a picture of the map, as well as contact information of all the regional network coordinators. Here we can see that we currently have 8 network coordinators that are active, working with the different networks, and 2 other network coordinators that are currently under recruitment, so the page will be updated soon. I will leave the rest of the page and the specific network page for Slađana to go over, and go to the next page, which would be the country information. Now, the country information, as you can imagine, is some of the specific country-related information that you will maybe interested into, like the transparency information, the key contact points, if the country has gone through several rounds of self-assessment, if there are any events of interest to the country that are happening soon, etc. We can see, for example, there is a map where you can go to each country page, or a list view where you can go through the list and choose the country that you are interested in. If we go, for example, to the Argentina country profile, we will see a picture of what is the country profile and how does it look. Here we can see the main menus of each country profile, with some key information on top of here, for example, with their latest publications and submissions to UNFCCC. Over here, we would have a space for country news and events, where all the different appointed country focal points of Argentina, in this case, are free to update and add any news of interest to the country or interest regarding transparency in Argentina, or any maybe upcoming events of national scope that are interest for the users. Apart from this, we have contact information of all the national focal points that have been either appointed by the Civic GSP project or appointed by other agencies such as the GEF and UNFCCC. We can see here that we normally have a GEF focal point, as well as 2 UNFCCC focal points, 1 general focal point and 1 gender focal point. And we have several appointed, nominated CBGSP focal points. We have thematic focal points for GHG inventory, for NDC mitigation, support, adaptation loss and damage, and one general country focal point. It is important to mention, and I will also expand on this in the last session before we finish today, the role of these different focal points. These are the people who are responsible to some degree on keeping the information on this country page updated and make sure that all the reports are in place and all the information, if there are any upcoming events, like I've mentioned, to register here in the country page. Of course, like Susanna mentioned before, there is a sense of shared responsibility within the climate transparency platform. So the update of these pages will be responsible of both the national focal points, the administrative team in Copenhagen, different agencies that may be working in Argentina, and the users as a whole, if they find or if they see that there is something that needs to be updated, or they simply want to add more information. If we go down to the country transparency information, you can see some of the key information that is featured here. We have some dates of ratification of UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol, and Paris Agreement. And we have some of the relevant transparency information that is recorded both in the UNFCCC registry and here. We can have links to each of the relevant reports, as well as links to the national climate documents to UNFCCC, which in this case, the Argentina country profile, we only have an NDC, but there is also space for national adaptation plans and LT-LEDs. Apart from these different kinds of information, there is a space for other relevant climate documents that may not be official submissions to UNFCCC, but may still have national level importance and relevance, and therefore should be featured here. I always normally put the same example here. For example, say that Vietnam has no long-term strategy submitted to UNFCCC, but they do have a 2050 net zero plan that has national scope. In this case, they can also add this kind of document or other sectoral and national level documents that may be interesting for the public. Apart from the country transparency information, we have a list of country projects that are happening currently and are active either in planning or in implementation in the country. Normally, all the projects that are submitted in the climate transparency platform will have to either clarify whether they are a national scope or a regional scope or a global scope, and the national scope countries will feature in the country profile. Lastly, there is a space for the self-assessment, which is where country focal points and countries can decide whether to go through a round of self-assessment to assess their needs in case of using the resources or planning the resources and projects in the future. Going over to the next round, we can have the project level page. And this is similar to the country list that we have shown before, where we can see all the different transparency projects that are in the climate transparency platform. We can see that we currently have 477 different projects. Mostly right now are CBIT projects and JEF enabling activity projects. But as I mentioned before, there will also be other transparency projects building up as time passes and as more agencies are uploading their project pipeline here. We can see that we have a filter function where we can separate and filter if we want to see projects in a specific country or a specific network, if we want to look at a specific type of project, whether we're only interested in civil projects or in other transparency projects, or if we're looking forward to a project that is implemented by a specific agency. For example, if we go here and filter by CBIT project, we can see all the list of CBIT projects that are active or finalized in planning, etc. And this is how a CBIT project page looks. It's quite similar to the country page, but has some information that differs and that is unique to every project. For example, here the key information that is shown has information about the JEF project grant, the different dates of approval start and end date. In this case, it's a project that has already ended. And again, space for featured news, events, publications, etc., as well as three unique tabs actually regarding projects. One of them would be the project details page, where you can have information of a focal point, the link to the project website in the JEF, as well as information of who is implementing and executing the project. You also have information about the project indicators of each of the projects. These are based on all the different project documents and endorsement documents that are written. We take this information and we put it available in the Climate Transparency platform so that it's easy for you to see when you're looking for a specific either indicator or target or activity within the project. The next tab, project implementation, has an overview of all the outcomes and activities of the project, as well as their degree of completion. This is updated in every reporting period, normally according to the reporting deadlines of each agency, and can show you exactly, as you are seeing, the degree of completion, the degree of implementation of each of the activities and outputs. Lastly, similar to the country page, we have a space for project news and events, as well as relevant project documents that you may want to upload here because they are of interest to people that are related or are interested in the project. It can be a TOR, it can be a deliverable, we can say here communication strategy, etc. It is important to note that we have in the platform separate spaces, whether it is for project-related documents or for other documents which scope may be beyond the project. For only project-related documents, we use the tabs here so that you know where to find the relevant information of each project. If you have a knowledge product, a report that goes of interest beyond the project, it would be registered in the Knowledge Center. Going over to the next tab in the menu, we have the agencies and initiatives, where you can have an overview of all the different transparency agencies that are collaborating with us in the Climate Transparency platform. Here we have different multilateral agencies, transparency agencies, and JEF implementing agencies. Apart from this overview, you can click on each and one of them and look at specific information. For example, an overview, featured upcoming events, information on how to access support, as well as news and events, and published knowledge products and projects. We can also see here, for example, if we went to the ICAT agency page, that we have some specific information on how to access support, for example, possible timeline of answers, the area of support, the different criteria, eligible countries, etc. So this will be useful for you in case you want to contact one of the agencies, or in case you want to inquire about the modalities of support of different implementing agencies. It is also important to note that if you are an agency representative and you want to have your agency included in the Climate Transparency platform, you're more than welcome to contact us or Sojana. And if you are an agency focal point of one of these agencies that are currently featured, there is a space for coordination in between agencies where you can coordinate with other agencies regarding events in planning, events that are already planned, upcoming knowledge products and publications, etc. Going over to the next tabs, we have the experts, and this is just a collection of experts that is legacy from the previous Global Support Program website, where you can find different experts and filter them by expertise and countries. If you want to become an expert in the Climate Transparency platform, feel free to contact us in the email that is mentioned here. And if you want to, we will talk with you, we will attend your request. The last two pages, I think they're also quite self-explanatory, the news and events and the knowledge center. The news and events has the collection of all different news and events, past and future, that are registered in the Climate Transparency platform, so that you can have an overview and you can know which ones are in person, which ones are online and you can attend, etc. You can also have the information, the recordings, all the relevant documents once the event has taken place. Here you can see that we have a similar filter function as other parts of the platform, where you can find different filters so that you can find the event that you're looking for. For example, say that you are looking for a specific conference or training or webinar, you can filter therefore here. The Knowledge Center page is quite similar, and it focuses on the landmark publications and the featured knowledge products that are here in the Climate Transparency platform. Similarly, you have a filter function where you can look at the type of publications that you're looking for, whether it's a report and brief, or a recording, or maybe an SBN COP decision, and you can find it here. As I've been mentioning, this is always going to be a work in progress. This is something that is constantly updated by all of us. And if you want to have something featured in the page, you're more than welcome to let us know or to update it yourself if you are one of the content editors, which I will go into more detail in the last session of today. This page opportunities is highlighting similarly to the News and Events and Knowledge Center, but is only dedicated for upcoming calls for consultants or other opportunities that you may want to highlight for your project or for the country that you are a focal point of. Here we can see different calls for consultants that are happening for civic projects and for deaf enabling activities and for other projects. One of the other important pages that we have to highlight today is the request for support. And this page is dedicated for you who may have any need or you may need to cover specific needs within a project or within a country scope. This is where you can find specific templates, request for support templates in different language. And you can fill in these templates, send them to us, and we will collect all of them and send them across all the different transparency implementing agencies and support providers. Over here, we have a little information board where you can see different support requests that have been submitted to us and the status of these requests, whether the status has already been assigned, whether the support is in progress, or whether the request hasn't been granted yet, and it's still in progress. We can also see the support provider who has taken the request and who will be implementing the request. And lastly, let me show you the communities of practice space. This is also a very important part of the platform and a part that is highlighted as one of the main objectives of the platform. Here we can see all the different forums that we currently have, and it's a space mostly dedicated to you so that you can participate, ask for relevant information, also engage with other members of the network, members of other networks, and in general, all different users of the platform to find either specific information about BTR readiness and DC tracking, other topics, specific information related to the Eurasia network, or for example, say in an upcoming climate week or in upcoming COP, there may be a dedicated space for transparency here within the forum, and then you can use it to coordinate among yourselves or to showcase or to send different messages about transparency related information that you may want to share or that may be important to share. This is also a space where Slajana and ourselves and the CBGSP project as a whole is going to be heavily engaged, sending messages, making sure that all of these forums are alive, sharing useful information, sharing information that we may find useful for you. For example, guidelines on how to use this platform, or sharing upcoming events, or sharing specific publications to one of the thematic communities of practice. You are also more than welcome to contact either us or the network coordinators or any of the content editors of this platform if you want to maybe open a channel, open a new conversation, and you don't see that conversation already in the forums. We will open it with, as long as it's something of interest and that will spur conversation. We're happy to have more forums and more conversations here. So this has been, for now, a quick tour of the platform. I hope that this is that you find it interesting and easy to use. Of course, we will be here to provide any feedback, any support throughout your experience with the platform. And you're welcome to reach out to us through our individual emails or through our Climate Transparency Platform email, through Slajana, etc. So thank you all so much. I'll stop sharing now and give the word to Slajana.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Alejandro, for this very brief but comprehensive and detailed overview of the platform and its potentials, materials, information that we all need and that we all want to share in the light of the transparency reporting. Now I would like to ask you all to go to our specific space dedicated for the networks. So you can see in the chat box the link, Susan shared the link of the Climate Transparency Platform, and I would like to ask you to go to the website. I'll open the screen and share my screen right now. Can you see the site? This is initial site of the platform. And as I could see, most of you are already registered, but for those who are not, I would like you to go to the top of the website and to register yourself. You will see this mark and press on the register. Please do it now. We would appreciate if some of you would like to share their screen. I can share this from mine just to show you how to create new account. This is just basic information about you, just your name and family name, gender, email address, username usually combines your first and last name. So it's generated by platform. Then you create some password here and confirm it. You have to select here country that you are coming from, network that your country belongs to. Here you will check the Eurasia Transparency Network for your registration. And below section is very important for all of you, especially for focal points and for experts from your countries that have certain editing possibilities. So in the following chapter, you can check the agency focal point or agency representative, country focal point, project focal point, transparency network user, or other user. Depending on what box you check here, you will have a different editing rights on the platform. For of course, agency focal point will have opportunity to upload all information related to agency work, related to new products, new knowledge products, new support modalities, etc., and they will have opportunity and possibility actually to add and to change change information within the platform. Country focal point will have opportunity to manage information from the aspect of the country, activities, project, and etc. Project focal point will manage information from the aspect of the project, new information from the project indicators, project documents, and things like that. Transparency network user will have opportunity to use all information and to certain level added information within the platform. And also we have all other users that can approach, register to the platform and to use its and share its information. So once when you filled this all information, just click on create new account. And you will have registered on the platform, and our colleagues Alejandro and Susan will immediately approve your registration. So have you already registered? Do we have new registries here?
Tatiana, let me also add that you will receive an email confirming your registration. If you have clicked a profile that does not have editing rights, for example, if you have registered yourself as a Transparency Network users or as other users, you will be immediately accepted and can log in to the platform and already participate in the forums. However, if you have registered as a country focal point or as a project focal point or an agency focal point, we will need to double check this with the agencies or countries / projects accordingly. And once we have double checked your profile, we will send you a further email confirming and activating your profile. So don't worry if you don't receive an email for now. It may be because we need to confirm your profile first. Lastly, if you still, for whatever reason, have any problems with the registration, please let us know, and we will be happy to support you in the process.
Thank you, Alejandro, for these clarifications and very important information for the registration part. So if you are registered now, let's log in at the top of the site. You have this mark and log in onto your registration site. Here you will see your credentials and just click on login. So at the beginning, since we are coming from the different, very different countries using different languages, I think it would be good to just note that we have here language bar with the drop-down menu. So actually the platform is created in English, but in the case that you share the platform with your colleagues, experts from the different areas, but if they are not so much familiar with English, they could change the language and then can approach the basic information from the platform. It is not perfect translation, it is Google translation, but will serve its purpose. So just to be in to see is there any interesting for you, etc., etc. I'll click here, for instance, for Albanian, and now you can see all these platform features in Albanian language. On the same way, you can change and take any language from this drop-down menu. So as my colleagues said, now we will have a dedicated time for a part or feature dedicated to our network. So they've shown already the network transparency network page with all general information about all networks and network coordinators, as you can see on my screen now. And here in this light violet color is Eurasia Transparency Network. So let's go to our network page. So you can see here now the countries participating to this Eurasia Transparency Network. We have 8 countries: Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Georgia, Moldova, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey. At this first page, you can see some featured information, like information about this webinar, and also to left and right side. On the left, you can see forum, and on the right side, you can see and find some news and events related specifically for Eurasia Transparency Network. So for this event, I would like to show how to use the transparency forum of the platform. This forum is specifically related for the Eurasia Transparency Network, and I will click now on the post that is dedicated to this event, where I welcome all of you to participate to the forum, to exchange your information, to exchange your documents, to exchange your information, and to use information that you can find on the platform. So if you are registered, I would like to ask you to maybe share some first impressions or first information that you would like about the platform, whether it is user-friendly. Do you have any suggestions in the context of the platform? Can you find information you need, or you would propose some other more specific contents for the platform that are maybe more interesting for your country status, situation, etc. So please, this is the space for you, for all of us, for all transparency practitioners from Eurasia Network. So please, you are very welcome to share your opinions and put your suggestions here in the new comment. So just click, you can just click here and add new content as a comment or whatever you think is necessary here. Or you can ask us whenever, whatever is maybe unclear or need some further clarification. So please, if you are logged in, add some new comments. That can be comment related to way of using of the platform, information consisted. Have you ever before tried to enter to the platform and to use information? Do you have some specific content that you propose to be shared through the platform? So feel free to put here your thoughts. Once when you write down your comment, you just click here on the post and we all will see your comment. I'll wait for a few seconds for your comments.
Just posted a comment, Slatjana, so maybe it's just a matter of refreshing the page.
Yeah, maybe. So yes, we have some comments. Thank you, Alejandro. So Alejandro welcomes everyone and says that we can use also this forum to ask any questions about how to navigate platform, how to access specific informations, etc., etc. I'll wait for a few seconds more and then we'll continue with the information from the network, Eurasia network side. Okay, if you maybe you will find more comfortable to put your comments after the webinar, so you are always welcome. And I really would like to stress that we need information for you. We need your comments, your opinions about the platform. So to create the workspace that's useful for all of us, especially for you, network participating countries, for the developing countries that really need support in order to fulfill its transparency obligations in accordance to the new provisions of the ETF. So, however, thank you very much. I will go further. I will go now to our main page of the Eurasia site. So besides this forum, here is a part with news and events. You can find all news and events related to our transparency network. So here you can see information about this webinar, but also about all other activities and workshops, events related to our transparency network. I will just click here for the recently held workshop that we had last month in the Kazakhstan, Almaty, just for you to see how it looks like when we upload the information about the workshop. So the workshop was about a very, very important, interesting topic about tracking of the NDC mitigation part. So when you click here, you will have information, general information about the event as itself, maybe with some photo. In this case, we have also the photography of the event and some basic information about event, area, region, language. We have 2 languages during the workshop, English and Russian, because the workshop was organized for 2 transparency networks, Central Asia and Caucasus, and also Eurasia. So also here is information about the agencies supported the event and participating countries, and also the name of the network. So also here you can find all documents, presentations from the workshop. From point of view of the countries, even if you did not participate at the event, you can find here very, very interesting information. So for instance, the discussion and the presentations were very interesting and very much welcomed by participants, since they all need information about new provision new provisions for reporting in accordance to the ETF. So it was very interesting to hear about how to create indicators, how to define indicators for NDC tracking. So that information in the form of the presentation of our colleague Fernando, you can find here and click directly to navigate to the presentation. So you can see here whole presentation with information on defining goals, targets, indicators, etc., etc. So you can find here all this and all other presentations that we have had in the workshop in Almaty. So when I go back, also I would like to show you on the webinar where also colleagues from the Eurasia countries also participated. That was a webinar on just support for BTR financing and access modalities. I just would like to show you that here sometimes we record our webinars, and recordings you can also find here within the platform. So if you are interested, have a time to listen, you can hear whole presentation or whole event recorded here. So also Alejandro showed previously and some information that you can find actually about each participating country within the network. So for each country, if I will choose, for instance, Serbia, you can find some basic information about transparency reporting. So in the upper part, you see that Serbia submitted how many national communications, BURs, BTRs, adaptation communication. And also here is some featured news or events related to whole transparency network and also related for the country. Here also you can find on the next, you can find information about national focal points. JEF national focal points, UNFCCC focal point, and focal points nominated by UNFCCC. Focal point, actually, these are sectoral focal points, whether they are general or main CBIT project focal points, or sectoral or specific focal points, like here we can see a focal point for NDC mitigation, but also, as you all know, your focal points, your UNFCCC focal points provided nominations about the sectoral focal points also for adaptation, for loss and damage, for gender issues, for support needed, etc., etc. So in other countries, maybe they have all appointed focal points for all sectors. For in some countries, one focal point holds more functions. So it has been created depending on your proposal of your UNFCCC focal point. Next, you can see the country transparency information. So ratification of the Framework Convention, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, and also transparency information, national communication reports, BURs, NCs, NDCs. And you can navigate directly to the documents from this page. I will click here now, and you will be able to see Serbia's national communication directly from the page. Also, just to mention that we use here source UNFCCC web page as a source. So that means that the document is submitted, approved by government, etc., etc. If you go here, you can open the document or download as ever, whatever you need at the certain point. Also, you can see here NDC and all other documents related to transparency reporting. Next, when you click here, you can see country projects information. So here for Serbia, we have information here that projects for preparation of first BTR combined with fourth national communication and second biennial transparency report is approved and is under implementation. Also here you can find information about some other projects related to transparency. For instance, this is the CIBET project, I guess. And you can navigate here directly to the project page. So you can see here project details directly navigated from the JEF website, who is implementing agency, who is executive agency. Also, you can see the project indicators and results. And some information about project information, if the project focal point puts there. Also, here is information about project news and events. So you can see two events related to this particular project here featured here on this place. Also, here is the part that contains information about project documents. And if you click here, you can see here a number of documents related to the project, like TORs, specific for the project implementation, project information for climate financing in Serbia document. I think that's probably a report, etc., etc. Here is a really huge amount of the information. So I think from the country's perspective, this part of the platform would be very, very interesting, even though if the network as itself it was not very active in the recent period since we are just started. But just to, as I mentioned, some colleagues, country representatives participated at our events, and all information also you can find here on the network page. Also, for any participating country, I'll take here now information about Bosnia and Herzegovina. You can find also all necessary information. What I would like to show here, there is a number of the focal points for different fields, for adaptation, for mitigation, inventory, etc., etc. And also when we put this information here, we put also some image of you. So don't mind if you, these are the public photos of you. And once when you register, you can change photo in your profile. And how to do it, I'll show in a minute. As Alejandro mentioned and Susan, depending on your role within this platform, you will have different abilities potentially to edit some content. For common users or just registered participants at the platform, they can change just their profile. So when you go to the dashboard, you can see your profile and you can change your photo or insert your photo and edit information about you. Here is my profile. So if you want to edit something, you just click here. If you want to just to view, here is just general view of my profile. What else I would like to show for editing? It is very simple, and just for focal points to know that it's not complicated at all, and that they can manage information from their aspect very easily. For instance, I will just show how we manage the events.
Sorry for cutting you. We lost your screen. We have a presentation about the content that we can follow.
Yeah. How did you lost my screen? Okay. Thank you, Alejandro, for this. Yes, of course, we have presentation, and just for the moment, I would like to show how to edit things here. For instance, you add event, you put title, put basic description, and if you have some file related to this, date of the event, country, participating country, network, etc., etc. So is it if it's information related for adaptation, mitigation, you can check here. And which sector, you also can check here. You will select the region here, language, and all other necessary information for the certain event. Also, when we put all information, when editing some information, you just have to click here like published and click to save, and the information will appear in the platform. So at this point, it would be interesting to see your understanding of the platform. And I would like to ask you if you have some questions for us. Do you need some specific explanations? I will stop sharing my screen at this point. So please feel free to ask us, and we are really eager to explain everything in detail. I know that it is lots of information at once, but however, this is an overview, and all questions and comments from your side are very, very much welcomed. since, as my colleagues previously explained, that this is not one-player game. We are all players within this platform. We are all creating the platform, and as much as we participate in the platform will be more useful to all transparency practitioners. In the meeting chat, I have a question from Ozren from Bosnia and Herzegovina. He says that he had two questions to ask. First, is the time frame of this project? What is the time frame of the project? How long the updated information will be updated at this network portal? So
yes, so Jana, I can come in and answer.
Okay, if
yes.
you feel comfortable, yes. Okay, please.
Thank you so much, Ozren, for the question. It's a good question. So yeah, so the platform is funded by the CBGSP, as we mentioned, and the CBGSP is a 5-year-long project. So we'll be running until I think 2026. But we are trying to apply for a second phase of the project. So there's continuous. The platform lives on beyond the lifetime of the project. So to have some sustainability aspect of the platform, so that will be ensured either through Jeff, Billy is nodding, or through some other forms. But we want to have it as a continuous platform. It would be such a pity if it's only running for the project time. So rest assured that the platform will be there beyond the project. And also regarding the second question, whether he can share the link with consultants or other experts, please share. The more the merrier. Everyone who's working in the space of climate transparency is more than welcome to navigate the platform, ask questions. So everyone is a valid user here in the platform. So please do not hesitate to share it. Would be really great to share it within your network and spread the word widely and make the platform alive. Yes. Thanks.
Thank you, Suzanne, and thank you, Ozren, for your question. Do we have more questions? We are a bit short with the time, I would say. I would really appreciate if you have more questions or suggestions. Please, floor is yours. Yes. Okay, you can raise your hand or you can write in the chat. Thank you, Ozren, for participation, active participation. So at this point, if we don't have more questions, I would share just a few slides with you about the role of the focal points within the platform. So in the second, I'll share the presentation. Okay, do you see the screen? So this is the time specifically dedicated for content editors. We mentioned already certain points, but now just an overview of who are potential editors and what is their role. So, as Alejandro already said, one group of the editors are project managers and project focal points. They, of course, will share information about project level coordination, maintenance, and update of project information, some events related to project similar, and also similar information. Nominated country representatives that, as I said, nominated by your UNFCCC focal points are also also have editing rights, some editing rights and obligations, I would say. And they can share information about collaboration with agencies, project focal points for maintenance and update of country information, reports, projects pipeline from the aspect of the country as a whole. The next group of the editors are transparency agencies and initiatives. We all know how much are they important for us. Or they can edit agency profiles to ensure to update informations about project pipelines, events, knowledge project products, and all other informations that might be on interest for the countries. Also here am I, CBIT network coordinator. So I'm kind of the focal point for the Eurasia Transparency Network, and I will serve you to receive information from you and to provide you with information. And you can ask me whatever you need. Yeah, I can update some information related to your country profile. For instance, if there is some change, there are some changes of the focal points, etc., etc. And also at the top of all, general admin is our CBIT GSP admin team that holds overall coordination and maintenance of the climate transparency platform. As I said, nominated country focal points. We have several types of the focal points. One general CBIT GSP country focal points and thematic focal points, as we already mentioned. They can edit country profile. Also, project manager for CBIT project and JEF enabling activities. Project managers, both of these can edit their respective projects. And you can see here how it looks at their page, what information you can find here, and if you find something unclear or something which needs to be updated, please contact us and we will be eager to correct it. Also, agency focal point, like CAREC here, we have example, they have editing rights for the agency page. Before our end, I will stop sharing the presentation and just would like to show you one very important possibility of the platform. That is I'll share now my screen of the platform. This is the potential for you to request for support for your country. So if you click here, you will see specific space dedicated for support requests. So here is an overview of what kind support you can ask for instance, specific trainings, IPC software or other softwares, quality reviews of transparency reports, etc., etc. And below is a request for support template on different languages, English, French, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish. And when you click here, you can download the form. I will click and you will see just how it looks like. And afterwards, you can try it by yourself. Can you see the form?
Yes, Georgiana, still sharing the screen from the platform. I think you might have to reshare.
Mm-hmm. Here it is. Do you see it now? This is a form of request for support, which can be filled out by your CBIT country focal point. And here are some basic information that the country focal point will fulfill and send it to me for further processing and for searching possibilities for specific support. Okay. So at this moment, I would stop. And if anyone has any questions, I would like to ask you to maybe put in the chat box or to ask directly. If there is no more questions, I just would like to say that our colleague from Jeff has joined us. Jeff, William, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the webinar. Good morning. And I would like to just give us some closing remarks of the event.
Thank you very much, everyone. Snajana, Susan, Alejandro, Fatima Zara, and all colleagues from the Eurasia region. My apologies for not being able to connect earlier. Technology failed me very early this morning, but I'm very happy to see that we have a number of participant countries and representatives from different delegations of the region here at this webinar. On behalf of the Jeff, as a donor for this platform, as our colleagues from CBGSP have already mentioned it, we are very thrilled to have this platform up and running. At some point, well, at the same time, we're very eager to get to know your feedback. Your feedback is very valuable. We're still in the process, as our colleagues have already mentioned, of being able to make changes or to make the necessary adjustments to the platform that are needed in order for it to be the one-stop shop that we're looking for in terms of climate transparency worldwide. And it must serve as a platform for South-South cooperation and exchanges. And in order for that to happen in the best possible way and for the benefit of representative countries, we will like need actually to have this feedback in order for us to be able to better serve the functionalities that we are currently working on. As of now, that's that would be my remarks. I would like to emphasize this feedback that we will need. If at some point there is something that has been mentioned throughout the presentation of our colleagues that have called your attention and you're thinking about it and you go on the platform and you see that the functionality doesn't work really well and you have questions regarding some of the functions to come back, you have many channels to reach out to the website developers through Osajana. Probably is a main focal point of the region. But please don't hesitate to come back. We're very eager to get your feedback. And with that, I will say that we're still working on it until 2026, but our intention is to move forward with the platform and for it to be sustainable on the way forward. As we, as at the Jeff, would like to emphasize that we would like to move forward beyond project implementation. And this is the second stage of the CBGSP, and we don't see why not. We could move forward with other stages at some point in the future, but for now, this is what we have. But please make sure that if we want this platform to work very well, we'll need your valuable feedback. And thank you so much, everyone, for your attention, and thank you, colleagues at the UNEP-CCC, for putting it together. Thank you.
Thank you, William, very much. We appreciate your presence very much because of your role for all enabling activities that our country is implementing. So thank you so much, specifically because you are, joining us from the, from early morning hours. So thank you. And last, I will share the one question with you, so you can log in on the same link on the Menti. I'll share my screen. We would like very much to see your feedback. So can you see the screen? I will move to our next final question. How are you satisfied with this webinar today? Please, for your answers, all answers are acceptable. Here are more votes. Okay, here I would conclude for now. However, you can approach the Menti questionnaire after this webinar, and you can answer our questions also after. Thank you so much for joining to us. I just would like to share my last screen. Where you can see whole team. I really appreciate your presence today. Thank you very much for the attention. This was the first, but I'm sure that in the future months we will have much more events specifically dedicated for you. At this moment, I can say just that we are doing on assessment needs for your countries to identify what's the mostly needed, what are the priorities of the network. And when we finalize that, we will organize a meeting with you to discuss the results, to define concrete needs and potential support that we can provide for you. And then we plan to organize bilateral meetings with the countries directly to identify specific needs of each country. So thank you very much once again. Here is our team with our contact data. So you can contact us anytime with any question related to the platform, to our work, to support in regard of the transparency framework. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you all.